Lunchtime with David Semler.
Bruce Watson was one of the founding members of Big Country. Bruce, are you there?
Yes, I am, Dave. How are you doing?
Brilliant. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay, doing good.
Good. I think everybody remembers Big Country from the 80s, but for the few that don't, what was it like being in one of those iconic bands from back then? How was it then? What was it all about?
Well, it was good. It was all new to me. Obviously, it's the first time something like that happens to you. So you kind of savour every moment, as it were. No, I just loved it. I mean, I loved being in the studio. I was more of a studio musician, really. Really enjoyed that, getting to make records with great producers and engineers like Chris Thomas and Steve Lillywhite, Robin Miller, people like that. So for me, it was, I was always learning,
Was the experience life-changing?
Yes, I think anything like that is life-changing.
In what way?
Well, you it's like a labour of love, almost like something you did for years, which you would do as a hobby, and then you things start changing. Like one minute nobody knows you apart from playing in local bands, and the next minute you're on television, maybe you're on Top of the Pops or the Tube or something like that. People start recognising you, which can be, it's like a double-edged sword. It can be, you just want to go and do your shopping down at Asda, have a quiet one, but it never ended up like that,
How did you handle that sort of fame?
And you just get used to it. I think the place where I lived, Dunfermline, is kind of quite laid back that way anyway. They're not too...
to be fair, I do know Dunfermline quite well. It is fairly sobering, I think. You describe the environment. They're not going to let you get to anything,
not,
really.
Definitely not. I think the local football team got it worse than what we did. But Dunfermline had bands before us. We had successful bands like Nazareth, with Barbara Dixon, with the Skids. So they kind of been through it before we did,
Have you sort of brought those fans from those early days with you all through the years? At least some of them.
Yeah, because we're doing 30th anniversary celebration of the third album this year. So basically, we've made that sound exactly like, the sound of the Seer. That's why we're doing it. People want to hear those songs. So we're doing a faithful reproduction of what we did in the early days. Plus, we're doing the tracks that were never played from that album live in those days as well.
And I think I'm right in saying that you also have your own band separate as well, don't you?
No.
Did you say no?
Yeah, I said no.
Oh, I thought you played with your son separately.
Yeah, he's in Big Country as well.
Yeah, that I did know, but I thought you played some music separately.
Oh, no, that was years ago. We just did like a little acoustic thing.
Oh, brilliant.
That we used to do.
What's it like playing with your son, having him in the band?
That was great fun, It's we sort of keep each other in check, and we're kind of telepathic in what we do anyway, music-wise, It's good fun, it's good.
I had a look at the two of you, and you do look very, very similar. I mean, I should think if you dress differently,
I feel really bad about that.
If you dress slightly differently and put on different clothes, you might be mistaken for each other.
Well, we definitely have a different sense of fashion, I can assure you that. I'm more for comfort these days.
Yeah, who isn't at a certain time in life? Having said that, I was looking at the pictures of the band, some more recent pictures of the band, and you do look like a sort of proper band. You look at some of the bands that have been going for a while, and they look like sort of old ladies doing their knitting. So I was quite pleased to see that you do look like a hip, cool bunch of guys there.
Yeah, we left the knit needles out of shot, so I think we get away with it.
When the hits didn't come as readily as before, was that a difficult thing to deal with, or was it something that you could just take in your stride?
It was just something you just kind of accepted. The first single that we recorded didn't really do much, and then we had a few hits, and then it kind of dried up, and then we had a few more hits. So it was always like periods of peaks and troughs, and always seen Big Country as more of an albums band anyway, and the singles kind of got in the way sometimes, I just enjoyed making albums and then going out and performing them, It was always the sort of TV side, having to appear on TV and all that kind of stuff. I always felt that kind of got in the way, although it was a necessary evil. You had to do it, obviously,
Yeah.
I preferred doing the like I say, the studio stuff and then going out and doing it live afterwards.
Mm-hmm. I know years ago I used to work in an office cleaning company as a manager, and one of the other managers prior to that had been a very minor sort of pop star, and it had faded for him. But the experience, he never really got over it. It was like he just had a certain amount of glamour in his life. Clearly, that it wasn't all glitz and glamour in the beginning.
I can assure you, there's absolutely no glamour in the music business whatsoever.
That's pretty much the impression I got, and in some ways he was, I think, scarred for life, and I think it did affect him.
Well, it looks glamorous on the telly,
yeah.
But as we all know, it's not like that,
Yeah, I kind of get that impression.
We were always kind of working musicians. That's how we always saw ourselves. We were just a working band. We were musicians, and to start with, we were like amateur musicians. Then you become semi-pro, and then you become professional. It's like any job that you do for a period of time. Hopefully, you'll get better at it the more you go on.
Now, at a certain point, I think you lost your lead. One of your lead guys, Stuart Adamson. Was that a massive shock? I'm assuming it would be.
Yeah, of course it was, yeah. But obviously Stuart had moved away to America. He'd been out there for a few years, and we hadn't really been in touch that much. The band had kind of broken up anyway at that time, and it was, to hear that happen was, find out about it, it was absolutely horrendous.
It's a sad truth, but quite a few of the interviews I've done in the past, you always end up discussing the same subject. I suppose you lose people in any walk of life.
Any walk of life that happens, yeah, that's correct.
Bruce, I want to bring you back finally to the fact that your son is now a part of the band, because I cannot imagine being in a band with my dad. I'm pretty much the same sort of age as you are. And my dad was born like in the 1920s in Central Europe. And
that's because he wouldn't have played electric guitar then.
But it's like he was this fairly sort of, he didn't mean to be, but it's just sort of upbringing, a fairly stern, slightly distant guy who let my mother bring us up because he knew didn't have the patience, and probably like Mozart and Beethoven and stuff like that. And there you are, with your son, sort of probably out, knocking back cocktails or whatever you do.
Times are different, though, aren't they?
Of course they are, yeah.
That was the last century, wasn't it? Really,
Yeah.
No, I think with Jamie, he's just always been interested. I've got two sons. I've got my older son Bruce as well, who's very much into computers and stuff like that, and he was never interested in music, and I was kind of hoping that both of them would have just done whatever they wanted to do, and I certainly never rammed it down any of their throats, but Jamie just practically from the minute he was born had a guitar around his neck. He just wanted to do it, so...
Do you kind of go around embarrassing each other?
Well, we do that all the time.
I just love that.
We've got kind of two different relationships when we're at home. Well, obviously Jamie doesn't live with me anymore. He's married and got his own place. But when he's at home, he's my son, and when he's out on the road, he's another member of the band. So it's like two separate relationships.
Tell us a little bit about what life is like on the road. Kind of saying it's not probably as glamorous as most of us on the outside think it is.
It's a job in a way. It's just you kind of you've got to be at a venue for a certain time, and you've got to do certain things at certain times. It's like at this moment in time, I'm speaking with you, and I've got another interview at the back of you as well. So you kind of do your press and promotional stuff in the afternoon. You get to a venue, 3 o'clock, and the road crew load in. This is really glamorous and boring, by the way. And then we come in about 4:30, do a sound check. That can last up to an hour, and then you will get a bite to eat, and you come back to the venue, and I usually do warm-ups, and then you go on stage at 9 o'clock, and you finish about 11 o'clock. Wait for the crew to take the gear down. You head back to your hotel about 12:30 in the morning. You sit and have a wind down, and go to your bed at 2, and then you do the same the next day and the next day.
Right, so it's not
you are going to your work. That's all you're doing,
It's
and it's great. I love it.
That's the great. I mean, if you don't love it, it must drive you crazy. But I guess it's the business that's the business part of show business. Is what
Well,
it
it's
comes to.
different now. I mean, things are so much different from what they were, 10, 20 years ago. It's different. I think every band is now kind of their own cottage industry, and I think every band kind of looks after themselves now, and they're more self-sufficient. You're not relying on record companies and stuff like that. It's like a DIY business, and I think it's great. You've just got to take a bit more interest in the business side of things, which most people in bands didn't do, and that's why a lot of bands end up in certain scrapes that they shouldn't have ended up in. But no, I'm kind of liking it the way things are going just now. It's the head loves it and the heart loves it, but the body's just saying, "You stupid idiot, take it a bit more easy."
Yeah, you have to train for it these days.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're not going to go and play five-a-side football every night, are you, when you're my age?
I'm happy if I can get back from walking a dog in good shape. But, Bruce, I'm going to let you go there. It sounds like you've got a busy day coming up. Thank you so much for being on the show. And
Not a problem. Thank you very much.
Camglen Radio, 107.9 FM. Your voice, your music, your station.